Okay, so like the first question that we would like to ask is like, how did your footballing journey start? Like from your time when you were a kid and you were playing football in your neighborhood to becoming the Indian football captain uh, some years later. So what was the journey like? If you could just take us through that.
I started playing football at a very young age. I started around 8 or 9, and I got interested in football because of my father. My father used to run a football club along with his friends, a local club here. And on Sundays and Saturdays, whenever we have school holiday, I used to follow them to support our local team. And that's how I got interested. And after that, but back then, football was not big at all in India or in Manipur. Of course, Manipur, we have always been a powerhouse in sports, but still, you couldn't make a living playing football. So my father, he himself played football for a long time. Couldn't do. He played for the state, but he couldn't do much. So now when I wanted to play football, he was dead against me playing football. But somehow through my friend, I got to know that if you get selected in a place called Tata Football Academy, in those days that was the only academy in Jamshedpur where my studying, if I get selected, my studying and my playing, and then we go to Europe once or twice a year, every year. So I got to know from my friend, and I told my father that if I get selected, in TFA or in SAI, we have the Sports Authority of India where you can get admission in a selective schools, and you will study for free. Then my father said, "Oh, okay, I will try and teach you." So I never at the age of 10 or 11, you cannot play out professionally. So I played only in my backyard and in school with few of my friends, and after 2 or 3 months of trial, I got selected for Tata Football Academy and Sports Authority of India. And Sports Authority, when you get selected in Sports Authority of India, in those days, you get admitted and you get admission in a signing school, and it's more into academic, and Tata Football Academy is more into football. And my father was like, "No, you're not going to Tata Football Academy. I don't really care if it's the best football academy, but you should study and become an army officer, and you'll study for free." And that was his dream. And my dream was to be the best in India or to represent India. And then somehow when I come back, I had 15 days to decide either to go to Sports Authority of India or SAI, or to go to Tata Football Academy for 4 or 5 nights, and every evening at the dinner time. And that's the only time I meet my mom and dad because they're busy, working. And he made me cry every night but my grandfather, he died this year on 9th of January when I was in East Bengal. And he's the one who said that, to my father, the son, even if the kid wants to play football and wants to join Tata Football Academy, why don't you allow him? And that's when my father decided to send me to Tata Football Academy. And in Tata Football Academy, 6 years, 6.5 years. And after that, I joined Mohun Bagan, and I played for 12 years for the national team and 19 years in various other clubs. So, and after that, it's a history. Yeah.
Acha, thank you so much, sir. That was really lovely. Now, sir, what I want to ask you is that being a 10, 11, 12-year old, and then being so sure about what your goals were, like you wanted to become the best footballer, even after your even if after your father was like saying go to the signing school, go to the Sports Authority of India, like why were you so sure that you wanted to take football as a career option, like to become the best in football?
So as a young kid, you only want to play, right? And I have to give credit to my senior. He's working in Mumbai now, in RCF company or something, and he was the one from my village. He's a pioneer, and there is one guy called Kiran Kongsai. Manipur never had many players in those days. I'm talking about 90, 91, 92. We didn't have many players in the national team in those days. So Kiran Kongsai, who was playing for my father's team, have played in East Bengal and in Indian team there, and Balin Singh, who is from the same village. So and he was already in the Tata Football Academy. So whenever he used to come back when I was in class 3, 4, 2005. Whenever he used to come back for holiday, he used to come with all the pictures, playing in England, playing in Denmark, playing in Norway, because Tata Football Academy used to go play tournament over there every year. So for a kid from the village, and suddenly you see this, and when you only see them on TV, right? And suddenly you see our Indian people going there and playing against all those Europeans, and you go crazy, right? So I have to give credit to him, for making me, whoever I am right now, Balin Singh and Kiran Kongsai, to be honest. And I'll always be grateful for them, for leading, or for showing us, for making us our dream come true, for making us believe that we Northeast can play football in the highest level in India. So, and after that, after that we joined, and then we played for the national team for 12 years. And after that, there are many. Now there is 6 or 7 in Manipur in the Indian team. So Manipur, as we know, that is one of the poorest state, and sports is only a way to good life, I feel, Yeah, so that's how I think I have to give credit to those pioneers, Kiran Kongsai and Balin Singh, for making us believe that we can do something great.
Okay, so that was really insightful. So how was your experience like in the Tata Football Academy that you just mentioned in your story? Also, given the fact that that academy has also given us like many good Indian players in our football team, and also, so you mentioned that because of that academy, you got a chance to play twice in Europe. So how was that experience like, and how is it different from the youth football in India, the culture of
So
football?
in those days, Tata Football Academy was the only academy where we go and train, right? And it's very, very expensive to go and stay for a month or two and have a training, have a training in Europe. And we all know that how expensive it is. And the football that we play, I think honestly we have to say that they are much better than us. So we are working really hard now. Right now, our football has improved too. We are really working hard to build up that gap, to reach that gap. We are to fill up that gap. We are working really hard. So at Tata Football Academy, in those days, there were not many academies. Now, if you see, there is a Reliance Academy, there is a Bangalore Academy, there is a Goa FC Academy, and I run my own academy here with a group of friends, and our sponsor is Classic. So I started my own academy when I retired and got back home 3 years back. And then now, after 1.5 years, I tied with Classic, who was the main sponsor of Neroka. So now we have 450 kids, and then we have 90 elite kids, and they have started doing so well. Those under 18 players started beating the best team, the best club, few clubs in Manipur. So now we have, and there is a cargo. There are many academies now. There are maybe 500, 600 academies all over, but in those days, not many. So it was why I'm saying Tata Football Academy is that it was so good that from Tata Football Academy, 11 of us played in Indian team. So that was so good back then. But now, as we have many other academies, it's good for the younger lot, so that they don't have to travel. It's not easy to travel from a place like Sekmai in Manipur, from this village all the way to Jamshedpur and stay there for 6.5 years. And I think it's not advisable for me. I think kids should be. I was happy to learn football in Tata Football Academy, but at the same time, I used to have homesick also. So it's not easy for 10, 11 years old stay together. No, not for everyone. So now, as you have many other academies in various parts of India, they can stay in the same city and play the same play the football that you love. So being in Tata Football Academy, yes, it was good, but football has improved a lot now. From back then what we talk about, and from Tata Football Academy, there were a few players who have trained, who have stayed for 2 months in PSV Eindhoven when Bobby Robson was there. You see, Bobby Robson was a coach of Newcastle, of Barcelona also. So he took 2 players. Can you imagine when before Ronaldo came to PSV Eindhoven, there was Romario. And these guys, they were training with Romario. Gautam Ghosh from Bengal and this Balin Singh, they both were there, training with PSV Eindhoven for 2 months. And that's a dream for any players, when we talk about Romario, the World Cup winner. Can you imagine, just before Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo I'm talking about, okay, not this, your generation Ronaldo we were talking about, yeah, the phenomenon, yeah.
Okay, sir. So now I want to ask you about talk about how it was very difficult to earn a living for a footballer in India. So, like, do you see things gradually changing nowadays? Like, how is the situation back then comparatively to now?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be that honest with that. It's much better now. We can make a living by playing football, and I'm sure you must have heard about Sunil Shetty, and then you must have heard about Bipin Singh, who have done really, really well. And now there is Chinglen Sanan. There are many. There are many. There is Sandesh Jingan, who is on maybe 1.5, 2 crore in 5 months. That's not bad for footballers. Of course, we cannot compare with cricketers because cricket is number one sports in India. But if you see that cricketer, there's 20, 25 players are earning quite a lot. But in football, we have 20, 25 players in each team, and see how many teams we have got. But for cricketer, yes, those who are playing in the Indian team, I know that they're earning like any premiership players. But football is not that bad when you can earn 1 crore to 1.5 to 2 in 5 months. And we are not in a World Cup also. We have not even qualified for a World Cup, and you are getting that amount of money. I mean, if you can play for 10, 15 years, you can make a living in. When we started, when we were after passing out, after when we joined, after finishing in Tata Football Academy, and when we joined Mohan Bagan, I got 75,000 in 1996. I got as a 17.5-year-old boy. 75,000 was my salary for the whole year. You talk about all these 17, 18-year-old that they are on 20, 30 lakhs, right? Just starting. So and the next year I got 4.5. I still remember 3 lakhs. I came with the plastic on, with the cash, with the plastic on. So now those were the days, and the max maybe 30, 40, 45 lakhs in those days. After that in 2000, and now see all the players, not only one. And if you see whoever is in the Indian team, that they are on 70 to above 1 crore. So I'm not talking about money, but of course you need money to make a good living. But at the same time, if you cannot be more happier. You love what you want. You are doing what you love doing, and then on top of that, you are getting a salary, and then everything has been taken care of. And the players who are in Indian Super League, they stay like I'm working as the assistant for East Bengal right now. So when during the pandemic we were in a bubble, we were there in Goa. All the teams were in Goa, and everyone is staying in a 5-star hotel for 5 months. All the players has to concentrate on football, nothing else. In our days, car bhi apna karna hai, ghar bhi apna karna hai, and traveling, everything was on our own. But now everything has been taken care of, and it's so organized now. For any budding footballers who wanted to come, you just have to play well. Money will come straight to the bank. You don't have to worry about non-payment issue in those nowadays, at least for Indian Super League. They are having some non-payment issue in state or district level. But in Indian Super League, not really, because players are well taken care of. And I want that to happen in the district also, which is not organized at all, and state level, which is not organized. Also, someday I think it's a process that we cannot skip, but in few years to come, I think it will get better, like what Indian Super League is doing. So players are earning well now, and I'm really happy that young players, at least there's so many players coming out, and it's good. But before, when we started, whenever we talk about football and people ask what do you do, and we say football khel ke kya hoga, But now, as we can see that the players are earning quite well. I'm happy for them. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sir. So like we as football fans can only hope that this gap between cricket and football just keeps on reducing in India. Also, so can you tell us?
See now, Chetan. Well, okay, sorry to interrupt you, but we are not competing with cricket. Cricket. I don't play cricket, but cricketer, let them earn whatever amount they want to earn. I'm not. But football, or if I love playing football, and if you can earn from there, and it's now we have to play well first. In spite of not being in World Cup, and if you are earning that much, just imagine if you are Asian champions, or if you are in World Cup, and cricketers will think like, what's going on? So we ourselves, the young players, have to start playing well. Money will surely come. You cannot compare the cricketers with those footballers who are earning in European level, right? So there are so many Asians now. There are so many Asians playing in Europe also now, not from India. Gurpreet have tried. Gurpreet, who is really playing well in for Bangalore. Yeah, Sundays was trying. So I think we have to see ourselves where we are. We have to, if we can play in Europe, one or two players to start with, and suddenly you will see. But nothing. We don't have to worry about what cricketers are doing. We just have to work hard, and play better, and you will see the money is there, and good life is there.
So you mentioned about ISL in your previous answer. So I would like to ask this question, like, how do you compare the football in India before ISL and football in India after ISL, and how ISL itself has changed the structure of football in our country?
Before ISL, yes, we started playing in 1996. Then we so-called the National League in those days. They were good players, but if you see, once when the Indian Super League started, before I retired, I played for Kerala Blasters, and after that, I joined Pune City. Yeah, I couldn't because I think we were unlucky to get only 1 year. That's also just before retiring. It was not great for us, but younger lot are getting good chance. But ISL have changed the Indian football. Why I'm saying this is because now when I was assistant coach in Pune City, David Platt, who is a World Cup. Played for England, scored many goals for England, worked as a coach in Manchester City. We are talking about Pep Guardiola right now, right? So he was the coach for Manchester City along with Mancini. And look at the gap, Pune City and Manchester City. And suddenly when I retired, I joined as assistant coach to him. There is a big gap. But when I see David Platt being my boss, and I'm like, this is a dream come true again, Of course, I have played for 19 years and coaching is two different things. And to work under him, and there are so many players from Tottenham, from Middlesbrough, I'm talking about in Pune about 6 years back. So those players, can you imagine that the training, you're training with those players and then the coaches day in, day out, week in, week out for 5-6 months, and it can only get better. And the result is showing, except I think it was a bad result against UAE recently. But before that, we drew with Qatar, who is the Asian champion, who beat Japan and Korea. So one bad result you can have, but I feel that the players have improved a lot, and we have to give credit to Indian Super League also because of the training that they are getting, the best training, and then you are training with the better players. You are getting more game time, and then you are getting more confidence. And they are playing, but people may say that what happened to UAE, they lost big, but even we have won against UAE, but we have lost against Japan 7-0 also. That's what we have to understand. And before us, whoever have done great, people are talking about, we were the Asian champions, but they have lost to Myanmar 9-1. Can you imagine? So instead of criticizing, what we can do is we can only support. But before 2 or 3 matches, before the UAE match against Oman also we drew, and one of the best matches in the recent time is playing draw against Qatar, the Asian champion. So we have to get the best things out of there and learn from the mistakes that we have made in few weeks back against UAE. I'm sure. See, there is a process. So when when we see English Premier League, when we see La Liga, when we see Barcelona, or when we see Manchester City, we all want to play like Barcelona or Man City. But as India played for India for 12 years, and I know that we are not ready to play that style of beautiful game. But if we work from the kids who are 7, 8, 9 continuously for 7, 8 years or 10 years, we have got a good future. Because what we are doing now, Japan or the Europe has done 50 years back. So to reach the level that they are in, we have to work really hard. But our Indian Super League, we see the Indians also scoring like Bipin Singh and so many players scoring, and we suddenly say that they are scoring in Indian Super League. This means that they will do well in international level. No. We are not ready. We are not up there yet, I feel. So to reach there, I think we have to work really hard. And we all want to play, like I said, Barcelona, but we are not ready yet.
Okay, sir. So my next question is, sir, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are derby rivals, and it's one of the greatest rivalries in football history. So, like, how was it playing for both of them, being city derby rivals, and like what was the atmosphere behind the matches? post-match scene after losing or winning?
Playing for East Bengal and playing for Mohun Bagan, if you are a football player in India, you should at least play once in the Calcutta Derby. Just imagine playing in front of 100,000, 1 lakh crowd, and if you are a winning side, they make you feel like you are the best player of the world. They will make you are not, but they will make you feel like you are the world best player when you are a winning side. If you are on a losing side, you will not be able to come out from the ground for 2-3 hours, or whenever you go out, it will not be too pleasant if you are on a losing side. But I am really lucky to play in both the clubs for 6 years, 12 years. I've experienced the good days and the bad days also, and then it was good. I'm one of the luckiest. I will always be grateful. And then the supporters, that they are the best. I feel, of course, in Kerala, 70,000-80,000 people turn up for any ISL match. In Goa, 30,000-40,000. But Calcutta, 80-90, 1 lakh crowd, and the highest was 130,000 when Baichung we all played, and when we were in East Bengal and we beat Mohun Bagan, and that will always be the best match. I think we won 4-1, and we lost also in that 12 years that we have played, but we have won many also. So playing in Kolkata and playing for Mohun Bagan in East Bengal, this is something that every player should have a taste. And then this is lovely. I will always be grateful for that, and the supporters especially, they are lovely. But at the same time, they can be too aggressive also if you're on a losing side. They can make your life hell. Yeah.
So can you tell us your reaction when you were first selected as the captain of the Indian national team?
See, for me, when Baichung was the captain for a long time, I was the vice captain for maybe 7-8 years. When Baichung was injured for 6-7 months, then for a year, and then I became a captain. But being a captain, it doesn't matter much, honestly. It's not like cricket where the captain decides a lot. I feel, I don't know much about cricket, but I heard that captain also decides a lot. But in football, all the 11 or 18 is the captain. Everyone have to have individual qualities to win the game. But playing in 11, it's something that we all look for. Or if you're on a sub, we try and support. But being a captain in football, of course, you have to have the leadership quality. But every individual has to have their own leadership quality, I feel, But captain doesn't, honestly, in football, I feel captain doesn't mean much. But in a dressing room, you need 4 or 5 leaders who can keep the team unity, and that's very important. Not only the coach, but the player among themselves. I think that you have to have 2 or 3 leaders in the dressing room so that your team can play with that unity.
Okay, sir. Now we move on. You've mentioned about starting your own academy. So can you tell us more about this initiative, and then how you see it growing in a couple of years?
As I also have started from my own academy, and there were many good players who were better than me. When I was 10 years old, I got selected in both, right? And I'm sure when you are 10, 11, 12, you cannot say that he is going to be the world best player or he's going to be the India's best player. It's very difficult. There were many better players when we were young that when they turned 18, they got vanished. They were nowhere to be seen. So it's very difficult. I'm sure there are many other prodigy also. There was, I forgot the name, from US. Starts from A. I forgot his name, but everyone was saying that he will be the world best player. But when he turned 19, 20, he changed 15, 16 clubs, and then I don't know where he is right now. So there are many players like that who looks good when they are 13, 14, and when they turn 18, you are nowhere. So it's a very difficult thing to say that. But why I've started coming back to your question, why I've started my academy is there were very, very less academy in our days. So we have to travel so far to learn football or to play football. So Manipur is something, like I said, one of the poorest states. There is no big sponsor, so it's very difficult. But in other Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, they all have big academies with big sponsor. But Manipur, honestly, being with the powerhouse in Indian football, 7-8 players in the national team, but we still don't have a single academy. So in those big academies everywhere, there are many Northeast players going and playing, then training over there, because they know that these players will be good. So that's how I thought, why not I start my own academy here back home, and whatever that mistakes that we have done, like we played for the Asian Cup, but if we want to do well in World Cup, or if you want to qualify for the World Cup, if you want to do well in the Asian level, we have to start. And then I have experience. I want to share my experience for the 19 years, what mistake that I have done and what good things that I have done. If I can share that experience to the young ones who are in the academy, it will be great. And in a place like Manipur, we need a lot more. Not only my academy, and now my other friends have also started, who are retired, who are ex-Indian player. They also have started on their own areas, and which is good. That's why now we see six players in the national team, and if we keep doing that, there will be a lot more. And not only in Manipur I'm talking about, but there are many in Goa, there are many in Kerala, there are many in Kashmir. They're also like Mehraj, Clifford is doing well in Goa. So they all have started their own academies, and coaching education is also one big important factor if you want to improve our Indian football level. And Savio sir, the director of coaching education, he has been working really hard and trying to put all like young coaches like me, putting all together. And then we do have to go for a coaching course also. Like I hold a license, but there are many other young coaches also working really hard to be a better coach. So coaching education play a very important role. And yeah, academy now, when I started 3 years back, it was a difficult one. And we the same team now, with the team that we have, our under 18, we have under 14, we have under 12, we have grassroots. But the under 18 one, they've started doing really well. And it's a process that I'm enjoying. When we started, we used to lose 5-0, 6-0 when we started. But now the same players when they were 15, 16, but now when they're 18, they have started beating the best team of Manipur. They have played with Neroka, they have played with Trau. So and then many other leading clubs in Manipur. So they've started beating. And I told them, it's a process. This is, if you want to go to the higher level, we have to work a lot more. This is not the level. But in few years, if we do keep working with the right frame of mind, we will get there. And I'm sure there are many other ex-players, like I said, they're also working really hard. So future looks good, even though India is still not the powerhouse. But we cannot stop. Everyone in every corner, we all have to work so that the best ones from these academies can someday become a great footballing nation, maybe someday. But work has to go on.
So that was really a very insightful answer. Sir, I actually had a doubt regarding a very important thing in football, that is scouting. So since we are talking about top European clubs also here, like Barcelona, City, and other top European nations, we know how important scouting, proper talent scouting has been for these clubs, even for relatively unknown places. For example, like Barcelona got Ansu Fati from Guinea-Bissau, a country which is relatively unknown. So similarly, sir, considering a country as big as ours, with a population which definitely has some hidden gems, how do you think the scouting infrastructure of India has lagged behind, since we are probably not getting the talent which we might have produced had the scouting infrastructure been better? And how can we improve it?
Yeah, scouting, yes, it is important. So we are still very early. We have to work on our own districts. We have to work on our own state before we go to other nations to select the best, right? So now a team like Barcelona, when they or a team like Real Madrid or a team like Chelsea, they have got so much of money that they can travel overseas and get the best players. And I feel it's too early for us. And before that, before looking out to the different nation, to the other nation, we should start looking out in your locality, in your state, which is more easier. Like what we are doing, we have got 450 kids. And in that 400, it's a normal school training going on. We have 12 coaches. So in that normal school, every day, thrice, 4 times a week they train, and from there we select the best. And then there are elite kids, under 12, under 14, under 16, and under 18. And then we try, except Sunday, we try and train every day, and then we play on Saturday. Every Saturday we get a match. So if we start, I'm sure the other coaches are also doing the same. So we have to concentrate on this first before we go to that, before we take that step where we start thinking about getting the best quality players from overseas. So we have to look on our own locality first, give them a chance, give them a proper nutrition, give them a proper training, and then you will see India in different level for sure. And it's a very good question, but we have to start looking on our own locality first and give them a chance to our locality players. Because coaching education we talk about, I know how we used to train when we were young. I still regret that. So we only start, honestly, when Bob Houghton came. I think that's the only time Bob Houghton, who was with us for 6.5 years, who took China to the World Cup, who took Malmo, where Ibrahimovic, he was there for playing for Malmo before he came to Ajax. So he took that team to Champions League, right? So UEFA or Champions League. Yeah. So he was a coach for us, and that's when we started knowing how to play a good football with the shape while attacking and shape while defending. So football has come a long way then. So now we need good coaches. Good coaches doesn't mean it has to be from overseas. So we need to train our coaches first, and that it has to spread out all over the districts, all over the school. How many school football ground? How many football ground have you seen in school in India? Do they have proper football ground? One good proper ground in any school? Not many, right? So how are we going to improve? And how many football instructor or football coach hold their license in India in school, even if they are teaching in school? So how do we improve? So that's why licensed coaches, it's very, very important. We need to train the young coaches. Young coaches doesn't have to be the best player, because coaching and playing is two different things. So we need to spread out all those young, good coaches in all over the schools in India. And so that the young ones, those who are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old, they can get a better coaching. And that's the way forward.
Since we are talking about, looking for young players and, going about this, and since you talked about coaching, so I wanted to ask you, since you're working as an assistant coach of an ISL team, since you're working as a coach at the grassroots level, what challenges are different to you than when you were working as a player? Like when you were involved in the game as a player, how does working as a coach change that? Because this is one thing which we audiences do not generally get to see. And that is why it would be good if you could shed some light on that role of yours in this interview.
Nothing better than playing football. Okay. I wish I could play for 50 years. You know why? Because you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to think about playing and get fit, not get injured, and then enjoy the training every single day. But as a coach, it's a 24-hour job, I feel, where you have to think about all the 25 players, and if not 30, and what they are going to eat, and how they are going to play, how they are going to train, are they fit enough, are they okay mentally? All these things you have to, and you have to work on their strength, you have to work on their technique, you have to work on tactical, and you have to work on mental. So all these things coaches have to take the responsibilities. So it's a big responsibilities, and it's not easy. That's why one coach is not enough. That's why we have in academy, we have 10, 12 coaches. And then I'm working as a head coach or a director, so that they all were my teammates before. So we all get together almost every day and talk about how we can develop these youngsters. And in a place like Manipur, where the families are really, really poor, it's not only about the training. Of course, training, we have to talk, and we have to decide what type of training we want to give, what do we want to improve on their strength, on their technique. Technique is one thing where we are lacking. And if you see the Indian team right now, look at our Indian players can run. They run 12, 13 kilometers in a match like any other European do. So even the strength, the Indian coach was talking about strength, but I feel the Indian boys are much stronger than what we were nowadays. But what missing is the technique. If we want to send the ball 40 yards perfect, can we send the ball? Till now in India, not many, right? So how we will? So technique is what I feel. So if you talk about recent match, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. So Liverpool were pressing 5, 6, 7 players pressing, and the I forgot the name, the midfielder from Germany who plays for Real Madrid,
Tony
Tony Kroos. Look at that pass, 40 yards, pinpoint, 40 yards, and then how Liverpool conceded that goal, even though they have got the best pressing team. They are one of the best pressing team in the world. But how do you break that? And if Tony Kroos didn't have the technique, even if you want to send the ball, it will never reach, right? So just imagine how many hours Tony Kroos must have worked to get the technique. So how many players have you seen in India have that technique? But Indian players are fast. We cannot say that Indian players are not fast. Indian players are very, very fast and stronger right now. All the young ones, because they're eating well. Unlike us, what we used to in nowadays, they're eating well. They're taking good rest. They're taking care of their body. But what is missing is the technique, I feel. We try to play from the back, Barcelona, and we get stuck because we don't have that much technical skill. So these are the things that as a coach that we have to work on. But the bigger problem that we are facing in a place like Manipur is some of the guys don't have even 20 rupees to come for the training. How do you manage that? We don't have a big sponsor. So there is not only one, there is 90, there are 400 kids. From the 400 kids, 300 are from the below poverty line, right? From a very, very humble background. So how do you manage that? So it's a difficult job. It's a difficult job, but things are getting better. We are getting the results, and when you work on this side, money is not, you don't get big money for this. But for sure, if you are working in a bigger city, money is always there. But someday, if these kids start doing well, when these young players start doing well, for sure, we will also improve. We'll also get better money. But that's what I believe in. We can't just go run after the money, but this is the time to work hard, face the difficulties, and things are showing. But I'm sure if you keep working, things will get better.
So since I have just a very small follow-up, since we are talking about coaching here. So sir, as sports fans, we have noticed that when it comes to football, the onus on the coach or the manager is way more than when it comes to other sports. For example, if a footballing team does not play well, it is always the manager's name which is there in the news, that okay, this manager will get sacked or this manager will get replaced. However, for example, when a cricket team does not play well, it is always the players, who are the first owners, that okay, this and this player is underperforming, he is not bowling well, that was a dropped catch. But when it comes to football, it is always the manager who has the maximum onus. He is the person, he or she is the person, who is always on the line first, or either to be sacked or to be credited. So do you think it's a little unfair on football coaches, or that's how football actually works?
That's why I said that playing football is the best, not coaching. That's why to be a player, nothing better than that. You don't have to worry. You just play football, what you love doing, and then everything follows, right? But not in coaching. Coaching, if you don't do well, if you're a coach, if you sign a contract and if you don't do well, you're out. You're out the next day, you're out the next week, you're out the next month. But every coaches do know that. So we have that responsibility. So it's okay. Then that's the coaching life, and not only in India but all over the world. But that's what we have to, and we know that. So and that's the competition that we have to. That's the difficulties we have to face. But if you can overcome that, you are the best coach, right? So, but I'm sure it's in any work, right? If you don't do well, I'm sure the topmost will always get that criticism, right? But which is okay. I think it's very normal in football. It's not fair, honestly. But that's how the life is. Of course, yes, I wouldn't say it's fair because it's a collective effort. But then all the tactical and what coach decides. So I think coach have to face the difficulties. Yeah.
So, like, as growing up as a kid who is playing football, did you have any footballing idols at that time? And if you could tell us about that.
Yeah, when we used to watch on we never have now the social media is big. We can watch every match live, and those days were not big. But I know that Manchester United were playing in '96 when I turned professional. 96, yeah, and then 97, 98, 99. Those days, Man United were very, very big. So David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Fran Giggs, so we used to follow them. We used to follow, at least we used to watch them and see how they play and stuff. Yeah, and then before that, when I was really, really young, my father used to have a VCD, a recorder, and then we used to watch the match, the goals from George Best, the goal from Gascoigne, the goal from David Platt, who was my boss. So and after that, David Beckham and on all these players. So of course, yes, I used to follow Man United because in India we follow more. There was no La Liga then. In India they were not showing live. They were showing live the what do you call that, the Premier League. So we watch more Premier Leagues, and we know more. We follow more Premier League players. Yeah, but now you can watch all the leagues on your phone. So life has changed, but yes, there were players like David Beckham we used to follow. So it was nice to see them, and then they're all doing well. All those players who play for Man United, they all are an owner of the club or a coach. So they all are doing well in their life.
So, since this is a discussion about football, I have to ask this question. But like, who has been your favorite footballer of all time?
Favorite footballer?
Yes.
It's funny. I was never a striker. I'm not a great scorer. Of course, I'm a provider. I assist, but I like Brazilian Ronaldo. Brazilian Ronaldo. Of course, yes, people talk about Messi. Yes, Messi is world best. He's from different planet. Ronaldo, who is hardworking, is equally the best. But I don't know why the way he used to play, Brazilian Ronaldo, the phenomenon, what he has done, at least in our days, when he was a young 18 or 19-year-old, when he played first World Cup in US, when Brazil became world champion, and then when he became world champion in Japan, and when he joined PSV Eindhoven, Real Madrid, from PSV Eindhoven, Barcelona, Madrid, to the best two teams, AC Milan and Inter Milan. He is something. I feel that he will always be the best player. People talk about Maradona again. People talk about Pele. Yeah, but for me, Brazilian Ronaldo, I feel, even though I was not a striker, but I like his personality. He never gets angry. Yeah, and then he's a king of in the football field, inside the football field. He do whatever he wants. And whenever people do, there are a lot of players, they just show their skill, show boarding, show off. But when you do Ronaldo step over, he's there just one-on-one with the keeper. Everything he does is for a reason. He doesn't show off. So I like a player who doesn't show off everything. Like we talk about now, the best player for me now is Mason Mount. Humble guy, and look what he's doing. People talk about, of course, Grealish, Foden, they all are great players. It's wonderful to see them. But whatever Mason Mount, he doesn't look the best player in the world. But what he does on the field, it's for a coach. I love it. Well, he dribble when he have to. He pass quickly when he have to, right on time. So I like those kind of players, and humble, and not, but every individual is different. We cannot. There are a lot of players who love to be like Grealish, and who love to be like Foden or Marcus Rashford. But there are a few interesting young players right now. In our days, I feel Ronaldo, Brazilian.
Sir, although we wanted the favorite player to be the final question for this interview, but there's a question by one of our friends, and we also think it's very relevant. So, sir, what's your views on the technological advancements which have come across in football, especially the ones which the audience directly relate with? For example, the goal line technology, for example, the VAR, which has been introduced in football across countries. Like, what is your opinion on the increasing, technological infringement in football, if you would call it?
I think it's missing out on the real football. Of course, VAR has helped in a lot of decisions, and VAR has not helped in making better decisions in a lot of cases. So I'm somewhere in the middle. So whenever there are sometimes that when VAR comes, and straight to the point, right? And sometimes it's confusing, or especially with the offside decision. That's crazy, isn't it? If your elbow is out, you are straight into offside. When your little bit of big toes is out, you're offside, right? So it's a very difficult one, honestly. But I cannot say that VAR is bad, or I cannot say that it's good also, because there are decisions that where the referee cannot take, the VAR is taking a good decision. At the same time, sometimes they also make mistakes. So and in football, you can see there are a lot of clever players, right? Yeah, you can name one, and there are a lot of strikers. If you even touch inside the D, they will just fall down and get a penalty. But now with VAR, they cannot do that also. So there is and it's a difficult one, though. It's a difficult one to judge. But goal line technology, yes, I feel it's good, because if you see Lampard scoring against Germany, hit the bar, went in. And I still remember when we played Asia Cup in 2011 January. That was my last tournament for the Indian national team jersey against Bahrain. I assist the first goal. Second, it hit the bar, went inside, came out. Sunil had in, but the goal went to Sunil. So, but it's not that I'm not happy. At least the goal it count. But with the proper goal line technology, then the goal would have given straight away. So, but that's there. But with VAR, I think I'm still not too sure.
Okay, sir. So we've had pretty long discussion on football, and as football fans, all of us, we would love to continue to talk about it to you, because you have such a warm, how you describe football is such, it's very, it's very what we hear is, it's pretty insightful. But then now what I want to ask, moving on from football, is that, and also ending on an ending note, do you have any, can you think of any, can you give any message to us college students? Do you have any message that you want to give us? Can you just give a couple of words on that?
To all the college student, if you're a footballer, it's different. If you're not a footballer, if you're a football fan, or if you in life, I think just follow your dreams. That's what everyone say. Follow your dreams, enjoy the moment, enjoy the process. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. I don't know what will happen tomorrow in 1 year time. Even we may think about being the richest man in the world, or whatever you want to start a company. There are many things, but then enjoy the moment, love what you're doing right now. Today, I'm sure you must have a routine. You must have a routine daily life. If you do really well, and I don't really, like as a coach to my young players also, what I say is just enjoy the process. Just enjoy what 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old has. You cannot skip that. I cannot say that, oh, tumko ye nahi karna hai, wo nahi karna hai. I don't want to do that. Enjoy everything, but just maintain the routine life. If you are a footballer, if like me and many other young ones, I said 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, 4 hours, and then you have a rest time period, and you can study. Balance your life is so important. We all need to balance our life, and we all need to take time out to be with our friends, to be with our loved ones. And then if you can balance our life and be healthy, try and work out at least for 30 minutes. Try and go running for 30 minutes, and they will help not only the footballers, not only the sports person. You will have you will feel fresh, and the best thing is when you feel fresh, whatever you do, I'm sure you are going to do great, and then you will be successful. 30 minutes a day, it's not much. I think even if you are a busiest person, even if you are the busiest person on earth, you can always take out 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes working out will give you the best motivation and the best life, I feel. And enjoy the process, whatever comes. Difficulties we all have, but we have to enjoy the process and look forward.
So with this, we'll just stop the official recording, which will go for the live stream. So we would like to thank all the viewers who have joined in today's live stream to listen to Mr. Renedy Singh. It was a pleasure to have you, sir, with us on this platform here today. A legend like you taking time out of your busy schedule, a person who is still contributing so actively to Indian football, even after retiring from being a player. It's truly an honor to have you, sir,